are here yet again for another episode of Under Contract, where we discuss all of the contracts and commitments you make with yourself, be it in your personal life, financial, spiritual, physical fitness, or all of the above. And you know, when I first came upon this podcast and then, you know, what to title it, there were so many things that entered my mind, but the one thing that resonated with me was, you know, showing up for yourself. Right? And what does that look like for anyone? Does that look like you make a decision to get in better shape, and just because you wake up and you don't feel good, you just say, no, I'm not going to? No, you made a commitment to yourself. Or does it mean, hey, you know what? I want to get out of debt, or I want my credit score to improve. What does that look like? Right? These are little commitments that you make to yourself. So I figured Under Contract would be the best name of it. So today we are here again to interview a wonderful guest. I thought I'd take it to the real estate space today, you guys. We've been focusing heavily on the wellness space and the health and fitness industry, which is amazing because it's so important for us to keep that in check. But today I thought I'd bring some real estate to you. And I have a guest on my pod today that is a client of my mentee, Maya Chappelle. Maya Chappelle, I'm messing this up, Corbin. Maya Chappelle, my mentee, they're her buyers. But when Maya came on to be my mentee, I of course helped her with this transaction. So we have Kiana on the pod today. She is a first-time home buyer, and I wanted to have her come on and talk about who she is, she and her husband, why they decided to purchase in a crazy market, how their experience was, what they're doing now, and just get a perspective from her. Because let me tell you guys, this was no easy task. We went through a multitude of ups and downs, and it was everything in between, and they stood firm. They stayed the course, saw this to the end, and became homeowners. So welcome.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here, Tammy. I greatly appreciate it. Yes, as she mentioned, it was definitely a journey for me and Devon, most definitely. As she mentioned, we are indeed first-time homeowners. And just for a personal backstory for me and my husband, so we're actually high school sweethearts.
Never happens.
We went to high school together.
Never happens.
We pretty much spent the most of our teenage and adult years together.
Never happens.
And we mostly just we stayed with my mother, and my goal ever since I graduated high school was to, of course, get my education, all that fun stuff. But one of the goals that my mom drilled into me as a child was don't rent, own. She said that to me.
I love your mom.
I'm in elementary school and she's telling me this. So naturally, my brain, as soon as I graduated high school,
as soon as you're collecting the dollars from your teeth missing, you're saving everything.
Yes, I am so serious. Yes,
yeah.
I saved even when I was a kid. So. Yeah. On this journey, the first thing I did was okay, once I get my education, once me and Devon gets married, we're going to just start saving to eventually own a place for ourselves. And we did this by the age of 30.
Oh my gosh. I feel like you have a fairy tale story, because all of the elements of your story and Devon is, high school sweethearts, we dated, we da-da-da. That just doesn't happen anymore, right? Especially at the age of 30. You've at least dated 5 people, right? Well, that's my world. But,
I
So
never dated anyone else.
You guys were together from the beginning, mm-hmm. and you are now married, and you now own a home.
Yes.
So that in and of itself needs to be applauded, because that rarely happens. That's made in Hollywood. Those are stories that you watch on a movie or on, the Hallmark Channel, right? You don't hear about that, especially in Southern California, let's face it, right? So walk me through, gosh, there's so much I'm going to cover with you. So you guys decided, you started stacking cash basically at the age of elementary age, right? You're saving all, and when your teeth are missing, the tooth fairy comes, you get $1, you're starting to save it. Santa brings you money, you're starting to save it. So you're stacking cash at an early age. Mm-hmm. And you and Devon decided, okay, you know what? We're going to own a home. and we're going to live with your mom or his mom,
My mom.
your mom, and we're going to save money, and we're, obviously not renting, so we're going to buy a home.
Yes.
So when you decided to embark upon this journey, I'm sure it didn't start when you first met Maya. And for context, you guys, as I shared earlier, Maya is my mentee, and Maya met Kiana and Devon at an open house, and Maya soon then had them as buyers. She was, basically secured you guys as buyers. She started helping you, and fast forward, you knew you wanted to own. So you started this journey even prior to meeting Maya, I'm sure.
Oh, yes.
The market's been crazy. We all know it's been up and down, rates are high, but you and Devon had the foresight to say, hey, we're going to stick this through and do it. So walk me through a little bit about your ups and downs prior to meeting Maya, once you met Maya, and then the journey when Maya and I helped you and Devon, get you pre-approved, that whole journey, started looking at other properties, offers that were not accepted. The whole 9 yards happened. So walk us through that.
Yeah, of course. So let's see. So sometime in, what year is it? It's 2024.
Exactly.
So,
where are we again? Yeah.
So sometime in 2023, at the time, I just graduated getting my master's degree. And one of my goals was like, all right, so after I graduate, once again, let's focus on just trying to see what the market is currently and just kind of get a grip on what's happening in San Diego in particular, or at least in this general area. At first, we mostly just kind of started pinpointing, researching the ideal locations of where we wanted to live, most likely. So me and Devon, we just kind of pinpointed, all right, these are the rates,
which were not nice.
Yes, which were not friendly at the time.
Right.
Mind you, this is me and Devon kind of looking between the years 2022 and 2023.
Nearing 8%.
Yeah, so we were kind of like, okay, so me just kind of holding off on that thought. It was just mostly us just researching, trying to understand the home buying process because, once again, we are first-time homeowners. We never done this before. The whole process was entirely new to us. We had to make sure that we were completely understanding what we were getting into. We called around just to kind of understand, talk to different agents. We did talk to agents prior, just kind of see what programs we could get into. Right. We tried to touch all bases before pretty much going full hog into this whole process.
Which I commend you for that, because that's the one thing that I feel is so important when you're on this journey is to, as a buyer, to become very educated about your options.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? Knowing what you have available to you, whether it's through the lending side, knowing what programs are out there as a first-time home buyer, and educating you about the journey. Yeah. Because real estate has its own life. The timeline has its own life. Escrow has its own life, as you experience.
Yes.
So it's real important to do what you and Devon did and do your own due diligence prior to even going along this journey, right? So I commend you for that, because not a lot of buyers have the wherewithal to say, okay, I just want to buy a house, but here I am, right?
Oh, yeah. I did not want to do that to myself whatsoever, especially since I've never even thought I'd be able to put such large amounts of money down on like a home. So I wanted to make sure I understood the process. Me and Devon understood the process instead of just blindly going into something with no clue and no guidance. So that was the process for us. And eventually over time, as we slowly started getting into the groove, and as my graduation date got a little bit closer, we were able to eventually get in contact with Maya.
Yeah.
And
at an open house.
Yeah, at an open house and everything.
Yeah.
So over time, it just it just started going, started snowballing in a good way, in a good way. Yeah.
Well, when you have the team and the support, when you have an agent who has support, whether that agent is the supportive person or they have somebody behind them, you have, for lack of a better description, you have a hand-holding process that takes place, because it's scary. This is the biggest decision, if not one of the biggest decisions you will ever make in your life. And again, I've said this before and I'll say it again, it doesn't matter if this is your first home or your 10th home. It's a big decision to make, because it's you're out there. Yeah. It's all transparency, financial transparency, and we as fiduciaries, real estate agents, we have to protect that, and do our due diligence to protect all of that the whole time, and before and after. So, once you met Maya at the open house, then she I think had you up on a property search. You guys kind of started looking at properties. I know that you guys were broadly looking in San Diego County, and there were specific areas you wanted to be. And I know, if I recall correctly, you were either being bid out because obviously properties were going quickly, but there wasn't a lot of inventory in those areas because of the price point. So once she made the adjustments to your search, then I entered the equation. We kind of worked together on this. What happened? Where did things start ramping up for you as a buyer, and how did that process? How did that make you feel once you started actually getting out there and looking at properties? We actively wrote, I don't know how many offers, right? And we were in escrow. So walk us through that.
Yeah. Let me think. So when we finally got into the process of actually actively looking at homes and just being in the process of just going to open houses, I guess over time it started to become like real. Everything started to become more tangible because, once again, like, I never thought I'd finally make it to this point in my life. And Maya was so helpful in the process, very transparent. She was very clear, very descriptive on the properties we were observing, just making sure I was well informed.
Yes. I'm glad to hear that. Because that's one thing that I expressed to her and any other mentee that I work with is always educate the buyer.
Yes.
Always.
Yeah,
they need to know they have options.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Like, every home I went into, I did not feel clueless or unaware of what was happening. I was fully informed, and that made the process very, what's the word? Just overall very helpful.
Very comforting. Yeah.
I did not feel stressed about, like, okay, what am I getting into? I'll find out mid-escrow. Like, I don't want to find out. Like, I did not want to.
Which happens because some agents don't disclose to their clients.
Yeah.
And you're signing your life away literally on a lot of things. You need to know, why am I initialing this? Right?
Yes.
Why am I removing this contingency? Am I still protected? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And it's quite interesting. Even with, like, the process of putting down an offer and everything. So, as an emphasis, I'm a millennial, so I grew up in the process of learning the internet safety and stuff like that. And
mind you, we're going through that right now, the cyber attack that we just experienced, where everything is shut down right now.
Yeah. So, like, mind you, I learned about computer literacy growing up as, technology changes, and just as an aside. And me signing all these documents online was, like, so different because I've never done that before.
Right. So, and having an escrow officer call you and say, hey, we need you to wire X, Y, and Z.
Yes.
And here's how you're going to do it.
Yes.
You're like, really?
Yeah. And I like I said, I never experienced that before. But, once, as Tammy and Maya, they were very transparent in the process. I didn't feel uncomfortable at all. Yeah. It was just new. Yeah. But so it was just interesting, that whole process entirely.
So how would you explain? So once we went through, obviously we had one that when it was in escrow, and it just, we had that whole kind of a situation that took place.
Yeah.
And then we looked at more, and then we were, you were, kind of disappointed with one or the other. Mm-hmm. And like anything else in real estate, I always say, you know what, that wasn't meant to be. That one wasn't meant to be. The right one's going to happen. And it's tough for a buyer to see that because you're like, but I wanted that one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So, but we as real estate agents, we know, okay, next, move on, next, we keep going because we know there was a reason that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And it was like God was protecting us in that situation by redirecting us to the one that you now call your home, right? Yeah. So you have to trust the process. And that's one thing that we as agents drive home is, it's the unknown. Mm-hmm. There's so many variables, so many moving parts. And it's on the buyer's agent, your agent at the time, to comfort you, to reassure you, and to educate you and say, hey, it's okay. This is just part of the process. And here's the fact. Here are the things that are going to protect you. Here are the things that are going to be removed, but you're still protected, and here's why. Mm-hmm. And then once we do this, we're clear to close, and then it's off to the races. And it happens quickly after that. And, for me, what's really important when I work with a buyer is, and in this case especially, is to make sure that you have the right lender. Mm-hmm. Right. And not that the lender you were working with was not the right lender. It's just the lender for you.
Yeah.
Because as a buyer, you can work with whomever you would like. right? You can work with whatever lender you want to work with, whatever agent you want to work with, but what makes you feel comfortable? You and Devon needed to feel good about it. And I have to give a shout out to Isaiah because he continues to exceed all expectations when it comes to any of the buyers that we work with. And he delivers and makes sure you're understanding and all of that. So given that you had Maya, you had me, and you had Isaiah, tell us a little bit about that experience with all of us, because a lot of information was coming at you and Devon, and we're like, okay, sign this, okay, do this. Now we have to go do this, and it can be overwhelming.
It was, but extremely
I felt
overwhelming.
at some point you and Devon, the light switch went on, and you were like, okay, we got this.
Yeah,
we understand this. So walk us through what your experience was like working with all of us, and as a first-time home buyer, what stands out to you as being the most important, if not a few important experiences on this journey?
All right, let's see.
This is a quiz.
I did not study. Let me see. So overall, working with everyone, once again, transparency, just communicating was very important. I think one of the difficulties that arose was mostly just kind of like scheduling on our end. Because my husband, he mostly works during the day, and I was usually the only one like mostly available during the day, so communication mostly fell on me, and I had to like relay that information with utmost accuracy and to the best of my ability. But email communication, text communication, calling communication, just kind of just laying the groundwork for the both of us, just to make sure that we were completely in the loop, nothing was left out, and everything. And I am so sorry. Can you repeat one? So I was like, I'm trying to remember.
That's okay. So what are some pointers you could give a first-time home buyer based on your experience? What are some experiences that stood out to you along this journey with having a team with Maya, me, and the lender, and Isaiah all together? What was the experience like, and what would you encourage buyers that are out there right now? Oh my gosh, I'm afraid of this process. How did you comfort yourself? How did you and Devon comfort each other through this?
I think once we realized the flow of how quickly things move, pretty much me and Devon had to lock in and just be like, okay, we got to be aggressive with this. Because before we were like, okay, we'll just check on the weekend, where we were both available.
By that time, it's going to go pending.
Yes. Yes. So I was just like, I just got to go during the day.
Yeah.
Luckily, my job was extremely flexible. They totally did not mind me doing so. So I just had to, go without him and just kind of relay. He trusted my judgment completely. He knew I wouldn't just throw him into a home that he wouldn't like.
And he didn't like the ceilings because he's so tall.
Yeah.
Exactly. Which was one of those properties the ceiling fan was going to hit his head.
Yeah, we were so concerned.
I was like, you know what? That's the first time I've heard that, but okay.
Yeah, and it's like a chandelier was almost hitting my head. And I'm short. I'm 5'2". So I'm just like, if it's going to hit my head, it's going to hit
So, the chandelier,
Yeah, so, it was just like small things like that. We just, like I said, we had to lock in and just kind of really, overall, you have to be aggressive. Waiting definitely hinders your options for sure. Once we realized like we like something, I was like, we got to schedule this either today or tomorrow for an open house, just to really put our foot in the door. And no harm in just kind of like giving yourself some time to think about it. But if you really do like a home and it's something you see yourself in, like, it is okay to put an offer in.
I appreciate that, Kiana, because that's the one thing that I know that I, as an agent, I know Maya does this too, is we want you to feel so empowered and so safe and to trust us, knowing that we wouldn't put you in a position that would harm you, right? There's no harm in submitting an offer.
Yeah.
There's no harm in saying, hey, let's write an offer on this, because at that point, no monies have been exchanged, right? And even then in escrow, we do our due diligence and your money is protected by those contingencies. So you trusted us.
Yeah.
You trusted the process. And with that comes the transparency factor of saying, okay, this is what it is. This is what we're going to have to do. Let's go. And you guys, when you hit the ground, you went running. So, and then it started happening quickly after that. If you were to, if a friend of yours were to come to you and say, hey, I'm thinking of buying a home, what advice would you give them?
Oh my goodness. I'm already like trying to give advice to my friends already because they already keep asking me.
Right.
Let me see. I guess overall, just kind of personally just start with the research process. That really helped me and Devon kind of understand what we were getting into. give yourself like a general scope, a general area of where you would like to live first. Understand the market of those areas, just so you could get an idea of what you need to save for, just how much you need to save for, and even just checking out the areas prior. You don't really need an agent for that. You could just check out a neighborhood if you like it. Of course, this is if you have time for that. But of course, like once you kind of figure out and research on your own, okay, I'm comfortable with, what I've already know on my own, then you could try to hit the ground running and, try to contact an agent to help you contact them.
But of course, you're going to give them Maya and my name.
Oh, yeah, no, of course. Yeah, no, I already.
And Isaiah, because, that's
yeah, no, I already told everyone.
Shameless plug always.
Oh, no, for real, I already
Shameless.
was like, if you need agents, just let me know. They will not hesitate to help you. You get 2 of them.
And you get a great lender.
And you get a great lender.
Yeah.
Like I already told
my
friends, like I got the hookup.
Yeah. It's a team. It's a collaborative effort.
Yes. And I'm so grateful for all of you.
And that brings me to my next question. So how comforting was it for you to have a team behind you, actually in front of you, right?
Yeah.
That consisted of Maya and myself and Isaiah. How comfortable did that make you and Devon feel, even at the end when we were starting to close, because it went fast?
Yeah. Me and Devon were extremely comfortable with the process. Yeah. Like at this point, we were like ride or die with you guys. Yeah. Like we knew that you guys would handle it.
Yeah.
And we trusted your judgment completely on the process. And what's interesting is, with the current home we're living in, I would like to note that my husband did not go to the open houses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He saw it when we did the home inspection.
Yeah. Yes, that was the time he literally saw it. So we were already in escrow, mind you. And he walked in. I mean, he was like, oh,
that's a man who truly trusts his wife right there. Yes.
I mean, he was fine with it. I knew he would. Yeah. But it's stuff like that that's important too, because it shows that besides him trusting me, of course, he trusted he also put his trust into our agents and our lender, and that was what was so important in this process, because I feel like something like that could have already been risky. Him just blindly going into something, him going, oh, wait a minute, I actually don't like this. But it was just, I was so comfortable with all of you. I was just like, I'm fine with this place. I trust you guys. And you guys know what's up. Y'all know what's going on.
Yeah.
And you guys handled it exceptionally well. And, the escrow process was so smooth.
Thank God.
Thank goodness. Like, signing everything was like the scary part in terms of just like, we got to make sure we're on top of it. And, but overall it was a very painless process for our first time, like actually, well, technically second time, but our first time to close.
Go to the finish line.
Go to the finish line.
I love hearing that, because, a lot of buyers and sellers, they don't know what we as agents go through on the back end. Like all you see is what we're sharing with you as far as, okay, so we got to go do the home inspection. Okay, now here's the request for repairs. Okay, here you're going to get a credit. That's what you see.
Yeah.
Right? But what we're doing on the backside when things pop up that you don't even know what we're trying to navigate, and okay, wait, we got to pivot and we got to come over here, because we don't need to tell you those things other than, unless it pertains to what's happening. We just take care of it. Right? There was so much behind the scenes that we were navigating to try to get done. And buyers and sellers don't see that side of what an agent does. They just think that, oh, you're showing a house, you're unlocking the door, you're writing an offer, and that's it. No,
God, there's
so much more involved.
So much more.
Which is why as fiduciaries, we have a heavy responsibility for you and your money. And that is, the one thing that I know Maya takes this very seriously, and I'm sure Isaiah does as well, is listen, it doesn't matter if it's a $50,000 down payment, a $4,000 down payment, if that's even a thing anymore, or a $100,000 down payment. It's your money.
Yeah.
Period. And we have to take that into consideration and be serious about it. So now you're moved in. We closed how many months ago? Like 2 months ago?
I think probably like a month ago.
No.
2 months ago. Oh,
2 months ago.
Yeah,
I was going to say 2 months ago.
In July 1st. I don't even know.
Well, we closed and you waited to move in.
Yes,
okay,
that's
right.
So
maybe June, maybe late May, June.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It was June.
It seemed like forever. It seemed like January.
Oh, no. We closed On our wedding anniversary.
Okay, hi.
I just remember.
And that was what day again?
May 31st.
Okay, so right, it was right after my birthday. Okay, so we close, and now you're moved in, and you're painting walls, and you're making it your own. So give us kind of, the buyer that's out there, thinking I'll never be a homeowner. You're living proof. You stacked cash beginning in elementary school, legit. And you are with the same guy since high school. You got married. You lived with your mom. And you're now a homeowner. You went the distance. You crossed the finish line. What's one piece of advice you would give that homeowner that's out there going, oh my gosh, there's hope for me? What would you advise them?
Not to be cliche, but honestly, don't give up. Seriously, do not give up. Because I honestly, just being a millennial in general, I literally thought, gosh, it's going to be a minute till I own a home. And
in San Diego County.
In San Diego County.
Yes.
And, I'm witnessing it, amongst my peers, they're trying. We're all trying. And for me to be, to not give up and just keep pushing it.
Yeah.
And that's all I can really say.
There's a lot of truth to that. Yeah, and don't give up because it is a process.
It's a process. Yeah. Like, I was entirely ignorant and new to this whole entire process. I didn't know nothing about purchasing a home. Yeah. I just knew that a down payment was involved. Like,
money was involved.
Money was involved. Right. A transaction.
And it wasn't monopoly money. This is like money.
This is money.
Yeah. Like money.
Yeah. Yes. Like, that was that's all I thought. But when I heard about closing costs, I was like, oh, thank God I saved for for that too. Like,
which not a lot of buyers pay attention to, even when you educate them. They don't, I have to come to class to close?
Yeah, I didn't even consider that, until I really got my hand in it. But, I just hella saved. Yeah. And just don't give up. The whole premise is just like, don't give up. You just got to try and just weigh your options. Like, honestly, where I currently live, I never thought I'd be living out there.
So beautiful.
But
you guys, she has peacocks in her front yard.
I see
8 of them
every day.
And they're strutting around with their, with their wings. I don't even know what they call it, with the
pretty.
Purple. And they're so confident. Those birds are just like, wah, here I am, right? I don't care who you are. Wah, here I am.
I love them. They're so cool. But yeah, where I currently live was an area I never thought I'd be.
Alpine, you guys.
Yeah, Alpine.
Beautiful. Yeah.
I love it out there. I don't know anyone in Alpine. I never had the reason to go out there kind of thing.
It's a village feeling out there because you're like all by yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm from National City. I'm a city girl. So I live, such a huge contrast. Even my mom was like, dang, Alpine. But, she saw the home. She was like, I understand.
It was so nice to see how happy she was for you. Like, you could see the relief that, like a rite of passage. Oh, she's a homeowner now, and it was so nice to see that.
Yeah.
Before we go, I want to get a sense about, so you're making the home your own. And what are, what's on the horizon for you in Devon? I know you've only moved in. How long do you anticipate you're going to live there? It's your first home. So I feel like that, this is a milestone for you. So give the audience an idea of, now you're a homeowner. Now what are you focusing on?
Gosh, I'm focusing.
Having a baby?
It's going to be a minute. Let's see. Honestly, with me getting my master's degree, I'm just kind of weighing my options, just seeing what I can do for myself. He's also considering his options too. Just the sky's the limit for us is how we're feeling right now. Like, oh, wow, like if we could do this, we could do anything.
You're so empowered.
Yeah. Like I just feel enlightened. I feel empowered. I'm waking up, like looking at the sun. Like I feel great.
Peacocks
outside. But yeah, like honestly, just kind of, just seeing what's next for us, just enjoying our time together, just me and him against the world, not to sound cheesy.
No, it's true. But it's true because when you become a homeowner, because you guys, it is not an easy process. I am telling you right now, and I can't even, it doesn't matter how many transactions I have done, it is never easy, and you learn something each transaction. I'm just grateful that Maya brought you into my space. I'm so proud of her for doing what she has done. She's here, but she won't get on camera with us, so you know what? We're going to speak about her like she's not here. But I'm so proud of what she's done with your journey and bringing me into the space, because this is why I do what I do right here, to see start from finish a renter going from renting to home owning and just doing it flawlessly. So thank you for taking the time. And you guys, if you have any questions, shoot me a DM. I can connect you with Kiana. If you guys have any questions about the home buying process, what the journey was like for her with us, what you should look out for as a homeowner or as a buyer, right? Looking in this market, especially right now. And when you were in it, the rates were still kind of high and they're teetering, right? So check it out, you guys. If you have any questions, reach out to me, but I wanted to bring her on today and talk a little bit about the real estate space, especially as a first-time home buyer in this market. Kiana, thank you so much. I'm grateful to Maya for bringing you on, and a special shout out to Isaiah, and make sure you say hi to Devon, and I want to come over and see the peacocks, but only then.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me, Tammy. I appreciate you so much.
Yes. Appreciate you guys. So, all right, San Diego, we are there again at the end of another episode of Under Contract. Today, we talked all things real estate as a first-time home buyer, and I'm so excited for this one to launch. You're going to love this one. As always, San Diego, stay classy. Peace out.
Bye.